What's up, guys? It's Cheyenne Woods here, and I'm with my friend Doug Smith.
Here
We're
go.
back again with another episode.
That's it.
We're
Back at
talking tournament prep. I have a tournament. Doug's got a tournament. Some of you might not, but we're going to tackle it today.
I'm going to start there for this episode. I'm kind of nervous about this tournament. I don't know. I think I'm excited. It's been a while since I've actually played in an event. You know what I'm saying? Like a tournament that matters. So This is the first time I'm jumping back into the ropes. It's probably been a little over 18 months since I had a tournament. So, for you, I feel like it's probably been the same amount of time for you via this
Feels
pandemic.
like it. Feels about like it.
How are you, pre-tournament and preparing for a championship? I feel a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and act and stunt for all the people out there that do listen to our show.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I mean, do you feel those butterflies, or how's it work for you?
I'm definitely feeling them right now because, like you said, it has been, for us, almost 5 months now of no tournament play on tour. So to get back into it, definitely a little bit of nerves. I always think nerves are good, if you're able to channel them in the proper way. But the butterflies, do you ever get golf nightmares?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think I've ever had a golf night. We gotta go in depth here. A golf nightmare. I mean, I know what a nightmare is. I'm assuming that is some scary shit. What are you thinking about, shanking the ball?
I hope that our listeners can relate. I know I've talked to a lot of golfers who have had these exact same dreams, so I know I'm not crazy. But when I'm in tournament mode, season mode, I get golf nightmares to where I can't tee up the ball. There's something always in my backswing. I can't tee off. And it's so weird because it's consistent throughout golfers. Like, we all have the exact same dream. It's crazy. So something is to it, I think. I don't know.
I heard that one.
Someone can interpret my dream, but
yeah, let's get Dr. Bob back in here to tell you what's going on here.
That's what we need. But all of these emotions come when you're preparing for a tournament or a big event that you might be a little bit nervous or anxious about.
See, my nerves are weird. Like, I don't get nervous till like the third hole. That's when I get the first tee jitters. Yeah,
I'm really doing this.
Yeah, my nerves are delayed. Like, it's like I blink and I'm 3 holes in. I'm either 1 under or 3 over, and it's like, oh snap, I'm in a tournament, and then it's like, oh, and then the nerves come.
This really always counts. It's
always been weird for me. I've always got the third hole jitters.
Yes. I'm the complete opposite. I'm nervous the night before. During my warm up, my tendency is to rush. And so when I'm nervous, I rush. And so, I'm rushing. I've got a lot of energy here and there.
Are you rushing because you late, though? Like, are you late?
No,
or do you have like a regiment? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you, because you try to catch up because you late?
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm on top of my stuff when it comes to tee times and routine and warm up. So I'm usually rushing just because I have so much energy in me that I don't realize it. I'm just like moving fast and doing a lot of things. But that for me, I was saying, is opposite to you, because once I get to the third hole, I'm good. I'm settled in. I've gotten through the first 2. Like, let's just play golf now.
It's weird. Like, for me, just everything going into the tournament, I usually sleep well the night before tournaments. I'm usually like ready to go, though. I will say, like, it's more of like a positive eustress kind of anxiety where I'm like, let's get to the tee, let's go. Like, it's like, but for me, it's like once I hear my name called or on the tee, Doug's, but that's when everything goes slow. And then 3 holes later, it's like I'm being shot out of a cannon, and it's like, whoa, I'm in it.
So
here we go.
What do you do when you get to that point and you're able to recognize you're having these feelings?
Oh man, it's a couple things. Believe it or not, I always try to club down and swing hard. That's one of my go-tos when I get anxious or nervous. I always feel like I got more control over a harder swing than I do like a smooth swing. I know that's the exact opposite for you, because you just don't miss fairways. But if I'm nervous, if I'm nervous, I'm trying to get a club out of my hand off the tee that has a hosel on it. If I'm nervous, give me a hybrid 3-wood, or I will heel punch cut a driver just to not I don't care if it's a hole and there's water at 240. You might see me literally chip a driver, because I am not trying to have
button it down there.
No, I don't want no hosel when I'm in that third hole. But I think it goes back though, Cheyenne, from a practice standpoint. How do you prepare? Everybody's a little different. I know I like to get a lesson about 7 days before my championship or a championship, which I will do coming up here in a bit. I like to get a lesson. I like to work the move, as I say, and get ready for the championship and play a practice round. Of course, I know these are very, very high level things, but what are things you do leading up to a championship?
So for me, I'm playing in about a week. We play next Friday. We start our season. And so in the next few days, the next
it's about
week.
Time.
I know, it's been a minute. So for me, I actually haven't had a lesson in a month or so, but, I'm communicating with my coach, sending videos so I know kind of where I'm at and what I'm feeling, working on those movements, like you said, and then working my way into tournament mode to where I don't like thinking too mechanically when I'm competing. So getting those feels on the range, working them out on the golf course to where I can just go play, and playing just a lot of golf every day and getting into those tournament-like situations, that tournament mindset of actually having to hit and execute a shot the first time. So really just transitioning from range work, block practice work to just on the course and play mode.
Yeah, I got to be in the mode. Like, I have to have had at least like 5 days in a row. Like, so once we get into, I think the Arizona Open's like the 3rd and the 4th, 5th of August. Once I get to, shit, that's next week. Damn.
Yeah, it's creeping up on you.
I gotta get ready.
Yeah.
It's funny. This championship's a little different for me though this year than previous tournaments. I'm not in golf shape. I can admit that. All intents and purposes, having Renzi and not being able to really practice and quote grind.
Yeah.
I'm really actually surprised that I played so well in the qualifier. I'm not gonna lie. We talked to Dr. Bob about it last week and really played well in the qualifier, had zero expectations. So I'm kind of in this mindset right now where I don't know kind of what to think because I had a good round and played well with no expectations. And then you get into the championship where now it's like the expectation, in a qualifier is to qualify. You shoot 63 or 73, you get the same result, same reward. Now it's going into the tournament. It's like I've really been wrestling with, do I still stay with that I don't care attitude and hit balls a couple days before the championship, go on, and then that's it? It's interesting. I really don't know. It worked for the qualifier, so I might
Maybe just keep it rolling. Yeah.
I might as well do it again. But, when it comes to practice rounds and things like that, Shy, how do you play a practice round and getting ready for a tournament?
So like you said, with at least tour events, I'll get there on a Sunday or Monday, and we have Tuesday, Wednesday practice. So if it's a new course, I like to play it. Hopefully I can play it maybe twice before actually competing, whether it be 9, 9, 18 or 18 and 18. I do like seeing the course as much as I can. If it's a course I've seen before, for me, it's really just, let's play it one time through. Let's see how the course condition is, how fast are the greens, what the rough is like, and just freshen up on what my lines are. Everyone is so different in their practice rounds. It's so personal.
Everybody's super different.
Everybody.
Like when you play a practice round, do you actually play? Because I stay so far away from playing. Like I won't hole out in a practice round.
Really?
Won't do it.
I love playing matches in a practice round because for me, it's like, okay, this is a tournament course. Let me actually play as though I'm competing and see what it's like to hit the one shot, have to get up and down. But I'm 50-50, so I could go either way. Why don't you like to hole out? Is it like a superstitious thing?
No, it's funny. Like I used to, when I was in college and we'd play events and we'd play practice rounds, we always played money games. And we'd go out and we'd do our coursework, but we'd finish the hole because we were competing. And I found myself thinking about the shot that I hit yesterday when I got to the tee, or I thought about the putt that I missed, or I thought about the one hole that I didn't play well, and that would eat at me. And so, and then when I got back to that hole, I usually, like, say I hit a ball out of bounds in the match against my teammate in the practice round. In the championship, I think about hitting out of bounds. So it got to the point where I was like, the hell with this. I'm just not going to play. No, I don't want to have these thoughts. So when I'm playing a practice round, you'll see me, I usually hit a couple different shots off a tee. So I'll hit like a driver and a 3-wood, figure out which number I like the most. In my mind, I'll disregard the flag that's in the hole. Hopefully a good course will have just pins in the middle during the practice round. But, I'll hit a couple balls, one in the front edge, one in the back edge, see how the balls are pitching to the front and back. And I'll roll a putt to, where the dots are or where I think I might miss, hit a couple chips. I do that for 18 holes. I just don't want to set that expectation to myself that I did that before. I want to do it in the championship. And the thing is, I still do that in multi-day events, where you get to the hole and you remember that you made a birdie yesterday, or you remember that you hit it out of bounds the day before. So I don't want no background info in my head. I just want to go forward. As weird as that sounds.
Yes. No, that makes sense. You kind of want a clean slate going into a tournament. I get that. I totally get that. You don't want the positive, the negative. Clean slate.
I want neither. I don't want the positive or the negative. I kind of want to just be able to be variable, to be able to go A or B, and be flexible. But, I like to spend a lot of time on the greens. Not just the practice green, but like on the greens. I do a lot of I roll balls. A lot of people will go hit putts and actually putt it. I'll just take a handful of balls and just roll them different directions.
See how they roll out.
Yeah. Just rolling them and see what.
I think that's a good point because, you could chip from every angle. You could hit 5 shots from the fairway and putt from every single part of the green. But one thing that I love to do, like you said, rolling it, just really going around the green, taking your notes. I really like to walk the greens, get all of the undulations, put down the details in my book because I'm very visual. And from the fairway, you can't always see what the green looks like. So if I can look in my book and I know there's a slope on the left and there's actually a bigger flat part behind that hill that I can't see, I know I'm comfortable hitting it back there because I have my detailed notes of what I saw the day before. So really taking your time of walking around the green, seeing the highs, the lows of the hills, the flat parts of the green, where you have space, where you don't have space. That's really helpful in going into a tournament and being comfortable with your approach shots.
Yeah, and I know this episode's about tournament preparation, and I think this is very, very critical. Regardless of your skill level, if you're playing Golf Week amateur events or you're playing your state open or state AMs, for me, I really like to quadrant the greens. So I basically draw a crosshair on greens, and if I have a yardage book, I like to be able to see kind of where the no-go zones are and where the go zones are. So if there's a bunker front right and the pin is front right, then that might not be a pin that I'm coming at if I'm hitting a 5-iron. That might be a pin I got to fire off of. And just mapping out where my go pins are, potentially, because you don't have the pin sheet the day before, but mapping out where I have to be. So it's like if you have 4 quadrants, there's always usually 2 go quadrants and a no quadrant and a quadrant that's like a 50-50 quadrant, right? So it's like I look at where my 2 goes are and my 1 no, and I do my best to avoid the no.
Yeah, I like that. I do something similar. I don't necessarily break it into quadrants, but I see pins or areas of the green that are either red light, yellow light, green light. Like green light, I'm going all day. Yellow light, let's see what my lie is like, what position, how I'm feeling today. And red light is like, okay, middle of the green, regardless of how close I am, where the pin is, play it safe. So I think if people can maybe look at their course management strategies in that way, it's really helpful to just break down around and feel comfortable in whatever shot you're going to be hitting.
Yeah, and I think it's pivotal to understand too, like when I think of golf and tournament golf, I know I'm going to have, it's about battles, okay? And I look at each hole as a battle. Each shot is a gun being shot in a battle, and 18 holes is a war. So when I go into a tournament round, I already know that I'm going to have basically 6 chances for birdies. I'm going to have at least 6. And maybe I can win a couple of that 6. Then I'm going to have another 6 that are going to be 50-50 balls, where I can make a birdie, or I can make a bogey, or make a par. Right? And then there's going to be 6 more holes that's going to be me fighting for par, where par is going to be the best score I can make. So my thing is I've got 12 birdie chances. That's how I look at it, right? And I've got 6 holes where I got to put my damn seatbelt on. So if I can win a few of those 12 or win the easy 6, have being finish even on that middle 6 and maybe get away at like even or 1 over on those 6 that I should, that are tough. That's how I approach, my round. Do I do that pre-round? No, I just kind of know it in the back of my head.
You know the course, you know what your game plan is, you know your game and how you want to play that specific golf course. I think that's so important for people to know their strengths in tournament play or even just play in general, of knowing you're a long driver of the ball. So you need to really attack the par fives and take advantage of them. You know, some of the par fours, maybe you play it safe, it's tight, you got to lay up, whatever the case may be. But knowing your game, I'm not the longest driver. So for me, I know I need to take advantage of my mid irons and my wedges. I know what long par fours, I need to just play it safe, get on the green and 2-putt. So really knowing your game and knowing how the course sets up for specifically you.
See, I have an issue with par threes, and I'm gonna be transparent. I don't know what it is about teeing a ball up in the ground. It should be the easiest thing to play a par three. But when I was competing, you know, especially in college, my goal was to always make, if I could just finish the round with all fours, if I could go the whole round and not make a 5, you know, which is, I'm okay with making a 4 on a par three. That's for me and par three play. Like, hey, if I make all 4s on all par threes and all 4s on par 5s, hey, I just washed and shot even par. Boom. So that was where I allowed myself, and I think a lot of people don't allow themselves to make mistakes in their plan, because golf is something that you got to roll with. You got to roll with the punches.
We're not in the trees, Doug. Okay.
And every tree is different.
Exactly.
Shit. This is birdies, not BS.
Every
and I'm
day
always
is different.
trying to find some birdies from the trees. I'm like the Black Phil Mickelson out here. Like, it's okay. I'm sure you don't miss fairways, so I can't make that statement.
But that actually brings up a good point. Say you play round 1, your tournament is multiple days, you don't hit the ball well or something feels off. How do you deal with that post round? Do you practice? Are you grinding afterwards? Are you picking it, just going home, forget about it and pick it back up the next day? How do you play that out?
See, that depends on my level of pissed offness. That's not a statement, but I'm making it. It depends on how
real,
mad
though. We've
I
all
am.
been there.
Like, it's like if I had a bad front 9 and I was able to kind of gather some momentum and, you know, play the back, you know, a couple under, I'm not going to go to the range because I found it for the few hours. It's like I got off to a bad start. Maybe I need to sleep better. Maybe I need a better warm up tomorrow. That's kind of where my mind goes. But if I've hit it bad all day and I've had to like put the driver in timeout or the hybrid's not working off the tees, then we go into the range. But what's scary is for me and a lot of players is you've got to be able to separate yourself from that anxiousness or that anger that you experience and try to get back to tempo and get back to rhythm and get back to a certain fluidity with your motion. So
yes,
you got to be careful when you don't play great and then you go to the practice tee after the round. I
agree. I mean, you're not going to find it instantly, unfortunately. It doesn't always work that way. And you have to remind yourself it's just one day. It's literally one day of golf. We've all been there. It could be mental. It could be, something technical. Something was off. You can't be too hard on yourself. You're not going to be perfect. But I think it is good sometimes if you had a bad ball striking day or you made no putts to just at least get the visual of seeing the ball go on your target line, seeing the ball go in the hole, get that confidence back before you go to sleep and then get ready for the next day.
It's funny. Dr. Bob in our last episode, if you haven't listened to that episode, what is that, 48? Dr. Bob's episode, mental golf game is,
yes.
It really stuck to me, the image where he was like, when's the last time you went to a range and you saw a player with his feet up in a plastic chair saying that he was visualizing his round? Like I thought that was funny, but I think it's super poignant because sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah.
And I think going into a tournament round, I know that when you're going into a tournament round and you've completed round 1 of a multi-day event, you need to go back through, you need to look at your pin sheet and look at the pin placements like on an aerial map and like look and see, okay, this pin was here and I hit it where? Oh, well, shit, no wonder I made a bogey. I shouldn't have hit it there.
Exactly.
My number was wrong. I should have had the number to the front.
You have to be able to, recognize, break down your round. Like, I've hit 17 greens before and made no birdies. And my first thing my coach will ask is, well, how far away were you putting from? Like, well, yeah, I didn't give myself many, 5, 8 footers. So that makes sense. I have 35 putts today.
Ooh.
But, I was putting from 50 feet away. This isn't a true story, but...
Yeah, but,
just
you know what? In 35 putts and you're hit 50 feet all day, that's a great putting day.
Thank you.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's what we do to ourselves. We'll say, I didn't make nothing. And it's like, the closest you were 80 feet all
what do
day.
you expect? Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna, there's 1% chance of making a putt. Like,
right.
Something that I find interesting, not to skip around, but kind of to go back to, again, initial tournament prep, Cheyenne, Do you use these apps? The 18 Birdies or the Golf Logics or the Google Maps, whatever these apps are out there where you can see the holes and get game plans. Do you use those, or have you any experience with that?
I have not, actually. I know people who have used like Google Earth to map out a course or at least see what the layout is. What I've done is I've gone to course websites to look at the pictures they have. Actually, a lot of courses will have descriptions of each hole. So like going into a US Open or any tournament, really, I've done that in the past to where I can go through and get what the course architect, says about each golf hole, because it's great advice to at least get an idea.
They tell you how to play it.
Yeah, get an idea of what you're getting yourself into. And it gives you just more information to be able to go into the golf course, whether you're blind or you have one practice round, but just have a little bit more information.
So are you using yardage books when you play?
Yes, always.
The night before, day before, you would look at the yardage book and kind of plot your practice round, execute that plan, and then see how that plan, worked during your planning session.
Yep. So most of what I'm writing in my yardage book during practice rounds are my lines off the tee, any layup clubs that I might have, any specific notes of this green is firm, you can't be long, we want to leave ourselves below the hole here. And then, like I said before, mapping out the greens and being very detailed in the slopes there. So before the round, tournament round, I'll put the pins in there, kind of get my game plan of pins I can go after, pins I can't go after. And then, throughout the day, I'm checking my yardage book on every hole and going by the game plan that I have mapped out.
Yeah, with you talk to a caddy, I'm sure. So when you're strategizing, are you doing it with your caddy or not with your caddy? Are you telling him what the plan is?
Yeah, in the practice round as we're playing, I think we need to stay on the left side here. It gives ourselves a good angle to the pin, or we can't be aggressive on this hole because you really can't miss long here. We got to give ourselves a good putt up to the up the hill. So whatever, I'm definitely strategizing with my caddy. We might agree, we might not agree, but at the end of the day, we're having some type of conversation about it.
Well, see, I'm gonna let you in a little secret.
What's that?
We're talking about tournament prep here, right? So I've already noticed something as I'm getting ready for the Arizona Open that, I'm going to be transparent about. Off-speed shots right now, very difficult for me because I don't have the reps. I don't have the reps. I've got my left arm parallel position with my wedges. But I know that number, and I know how, if I choke down 1 inch, it's going to take off 3, choke down 2 inches, it's going to take off 6, roughly. So I know like left arm parallel 54 degree is going to go for me probably 96 yards carry, so I can choke it down and get like 90 out of it, choke it 2 inches. But what I am going to say is those shots, I've already noticed that I might not really play to those numbers. For me to be successful, I need to give myself as many full swings as possible. It's a strategy I've never really, employed. I've never laid back so I could have full swings.
Yeah.
I saw some of that in the practice round, in the qualifier, where I was, hitting hybrids and laying back. Even though I could hit driver, I was having, 30 yards, 140 yards, hitting little punch shots here. But when I got those 80-yard wedge shots, when I got those 65-yard front pins, I struggled. I'm just going to be honest with you. So it's like, I'm looking at that, as I have still 2 more weeks to practice. Do I want to get better from 80 yards in 2 weeks, or do I want to just keep working on that motion, that swing? So that's one thing that I'm kind of going back and forth with, regarding my game plan, is just leave myself back. And when you lay back, the fairways are usually a hell of a lot wider.
Yes, they are. So I think that's a great point that you made. And once you actually are playing a tournament and competing and putting yourself in those situations, you learn a lot about your game that you don't recognize when you're just playing out for fun and practicing. When you're practicing, that 80-yard shot is nothing. But you're in a tournament, you got a front pin, or, there's water, or it's tucked. It's a little bit trickier sometimes. So it'll
that 80-yard
definitely...
front pin right now. I saw a shot the other day. I don't know what it is about my attack angle or my wedges or my ball. Like, it's not, I'm not creating enough spin to get it to stay.
Ooh.
So it's like front pins. I need to have at least 115 yards.
Yeah. Tournaments will expose you sometimes with what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with, and what you might need a little bit more work on.
But that's what's dope about the game, though, because I'm over here planning, right? If I do A or B, I'm still right. I just know that to give myself the best chance to protect par, right?
Yes.
Like I'm trying to protect par, and try to sneak away with a couple birdies. I'm trying not to do nothing stupid. And I think that can translate into a lot of people's, weekend games. Like, when you got water down the right side and the hole's fairly short, trying to bang driver down there and get a flip wedge, sometimes it's dumb.
No.
Like you can hit a hybrid or something where it's not going to go in the water.
Right.
And have like a wedge that you're super comfortable with. For example, what's the most used club of yours when you're on the range hitting balls?
Wedges, 100%.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you're getting a lesson, what's the club you use?
Oh, like a 7-iron.
You're hitting a 7-iron, right?
Yeah.
How far do you hit a 7-iron?
155.
So 155, as crazy as it sounds for you, is your most practiced number. Mm-hmm. Like, as it relates to when you're training, when you're working on your swing, when you're doing your block practice, you're hitting 7-irons probably more than any other club in the back.
Yeah.
So for you to try to hit balls past 155 with driver sometimes, it's probably the dumbest thing you can do. Not you, I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's dumb from a planning perspective. Like,
yeah,
hitting to that number is comfortable.
Especially, like you said, it's a shorter hole. There's water. Why would I chance hitting my driver, trying to needle my driver to get to an awkward 40-yard chip shot when I could lay back with a hybrid and hit a full 8-iron, 7-iron, whatever, a fuller club to where I know I'm comfortable off the tee and I'm comfortable from the fairway. So just trying to map out courses in that way to where you're really limiting. The worst case scenario, if I flare my driver to the right, I'm still not going in the water. Like, it's so much. You just have to really map it out and play worst case, best case scenarios. And is it worth it?
All right, Cheyenne Woods, as we close this episode of Birdies Not BS, I'm going to ask you a very personal question about your golf game. What do you have to do to be successful with your game where it is today to win and hoist that trophy on Sunday?
To win.
Well, we think about winning. We ain't talking about nothing else.
Of course.
Everything placing is BS. This is about birdies. So
all birdies. So for me, honestly, the conversation we had last week with Dr. Bob was great and just refreshing that mindset and the importance of the mental side of the game. So for me, obviously I have my on-course prep, but to really get to that next level of winning, I definitely need to refresh the mental side as well of just seeing great shots, not expecting, but knowing you're capable of great shots, making putts, making birdies, playing great golf. So that side of it as well. And, for me, my game, technically, I would just say short game, the putting, last year was a bit of a struggle for me, but right now I feel the best I ever have with my putter. So, I just want to keep that confidence going, that great feel with the putter going and
that's it.
Rolling a lot of birdies.
That's it. You need to ball it up and sell it on eBay. That's what I tell people. When you're putting good and you're rolling it, I appreciate you, talking straight. These are hard things to talk about sometimes. Our games are like our kids. It's very personal. That's it. All birdies here. No BS. Always a pleasure to speak to Cheyenne as she's getting ready for her event. Where's the event, Shy? Where can we follow you?
We, LPGA is starting out in Toledo, Ohio at Inverness Golf Club.
Oh, I love Inverness.
Which is, very pure, a lot of history there. So we start up next Friday, July 31st. So, watch it on Golf Channel, lpga.com. I'll be out there. And Doug, what is your event even talking about? You got to let the people know. We want to know.
Playing the Arizona Open, first championship in almost 2 years. August 3rd, 4th, 5th, Superstition Mountain, Prospector Course. We're going to go out there and get it. We're going to talk post-tournament. We're going to come back and see if we perform to some BS or to some birdies per this conversation today. But best of luck to you, Shy. We'll holler at you.
Thank you. See you guys.
We want to be your front door. So we know that you listening or downloading the episodes and liking us on Instagram. We appreciate that. But tell your friends about us. Go out and let's grow the game together. We want to be the front door to those people that you're bringing into the game of golf in a no BS fashion. We're going to give it to you straight and all the way real. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Birdies Not BS, birdiesnotbs.com. Tell your peoples about us. Catch y'all next week.